Hello students, in this video I'll talk about the role of independent director. I am Dr. G. Shamla, serving as an associate professor in the Department of Commerce, Savitribai Phule Pune University. So who is an independent director? An independent director is a non-executive director of the company who actually helps the company in improving the corporate credibility and governance. He or she is a person who, in the real sense, is independent and should be able to take decisions on independent basis without getting influenced by anything. He or she should not have any kind of relationship with the company that might affect their independence and judgment. There is a need to have an independent directors on the board. The reasons being, firstly, their decisions would be impartial and objective because the job of an independent director is to look after the well-being of the company and the shareholders' interest primarily. The second reason being that an independent director can bring focus and depth of perspectives about the industry or the company. They can provide expert advice and which could be beneficial for the company. They also help in neutralizing any conflicts that arise amongst the board. More importantly, they act as mentors. Clause 49 defines independent director. So this independent director does not have or should not have any pecuniary relationship with the company, its promoters, senior management, or affiliate companies. He should not be related to the promoters or the senior management team. He should or is not a partner or executive of the auditor, lawyer, consultant of the company for the last 3 years. He should not be or he is not a supplier or service provider of the company, and he does not hold 2% or more of the shares of the company. So the one who abides to these rules and regulations actually can become an independent director. So trying to understand the role of the independent director. Independence of the independent director helps in connecting the management's interest with that of the shareholders and improve the quality of judgment in the decision making. Their role is important because their independent decisions will help in the objective analysis of the company's performance and will ensure good corporate conduct and governance practices across the globe. Corporate scandals like Satyam have led to the introduction of the concept of independent directors, and its appointment has been mandatory according to the Companies Act of 2013. The importance and need has arisen because of the corporate scandals and financial crisis across the globe. They have to be present in the board meeting and pass their independent judgment on any matters of the board. They should be present in the management in taking the decisions that is likely to affect the interest of the shareholders at large. They have to be on the roll in all the committees of the board, like the audit committee, the remuneration and the nomination committee, the corporate social responsibility committee, and they should be recommending the appointment, remuneration, and terms of appointments of the auditors. They have to examine the financial statements and audit reports. They have to review the financial statements. They also have to determine the appropriate levels of remunerations of the executive directors and the key managerial personnel and senior management, and have a prime role in appointing and removal of the key managerial personnel of the organizations. They have to plan for succession planning and ensure corporate governance, stability, and sustainability of business. They should have good years of experience. They basically act as a guide or a watchdog. And all listed companies are required to set up audit committees and have a minimum 3 directors, in which 2/3 should be the independent directors. The duties of independent directors is immense. Their duty is to look after the financial reporting processes of the company along with the financial information and disclosures. It is their duty to recommend to the board regarding the appointment, reappointment of the directors, and in case if required, the replacement and the removal of the statutory auditors and fixation of the audit fees. They have to review with the management the annual financial statements before the approval of the board, with special reference to directors' responsibility statement, changes in accounting policy, major accounting estimates, audit finding adjustments, compliance with listings and other legal requirements. Also the disclosures of related party transactions and qualifications in the draft audit report. They have to review the financial statements on the quarterly basis. They also have to review with the management performance of statutory and internal auditors, adequacies of internal control systems, adequacies of internal audit functions, including the structures, frequencies, and reporting. They have to find the loopholes. They also have to investigate into the areas of frauds, irregularities, and try to understand the major failures of the internal control systems by significantly talking and discussing with the internal auditors and trying to understand the internal investigation matters. They have to discuss with the auditors the scope of the audit, which is essential for their organizations. They also have to understand and review the reasons for the defaults into payments if there are any. They also have to review the whistleblowing mechanism. They have to mandatorily review the related party transactions and of course the internal control weaknesses. They have to review the financial statements of subsidiary companies with special attention to investments made by them. They also have to see and review the applications and the uses of funds for public issues, right issues, and preferential issues. They also have to disclose the shareholdings in the listed companies. Independent directors have their own responsibilities, and following are the responsibilities of the independent directors. He or she should furnish his details in a prescribed format and should inform any changes in those details submitted by him or her. He should provide a list of relatives as defined in the Companies Act and their directorship and interest in any other company or concerns. The independent director should acquire proper understanding of the business of the company. He should act within his powers laid down by the Memorandum of Association or the Articles of Association as applicable. And he should not be a director of more than 15 companies. Thus, an independent director plays a very important role in corporate governance. His decisions should be well within the interest of the company. He thus brings independence judgment and acts as a bridge between management and shareholders by encouraging the principles of corporate governance through the principles of transparency, accountability, disclosure in the working of the company and assist the company in implementing the best corporate governance practices. Thank you.